Today's social media segment is brought to you by Barker Honda. It's better at Barker.
Good evening. Thank you guys for the 4th annual TPR Hall of Fame. Thank you for the coaches, the families, for the community service that the coaches have put in for these guys and these younger youth guys out there. So I just want to say thank you guys for all you guys have done, right? We're going to always start off with a prayer. Mr. Charles Miles will be doing a prayer. So if you guys don't mind, a moment of silence, we'll do a prayer. Hold on one second.
Can everyone bow their heads? Thank you for your grace and mercy that you so freely give. The Bible says to give honor to whom honor is due. And today we show our appreciation. Lord, we thank you for the gift of leadership, wisdom, and dedication. Bless each and every coach here today for the seeds that they have sown and the lives that they have shaped and the hearts that they've inspired. May they work and continue to uplift others, and may their legacy reflect your grace and guidance. It's in Jesus' name I pray, amen.
One more time, we'll do a moment of silence for two guys who we have honored already, Mr. Bo and John Morgan. I forgot the last name, I'm sorry. If you guys don't mind, take a moment of silence for those guys who've fallen. Thank you. Charles Miles, come on up.
Okay, the first person that we are going to honor is Joseph Marcello, and we're asking Mr. Danny Babin to come up.
Appreciate it, bud. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I want to thank all the people who are getting honored here tonight. You've done a great job in this community all these years, and you're being rewarded for it. So thank you very much. I'm here to speak just a moment about, I called him Uncle Buddy Marcella. He was Lucas Marcella to a lot of people. He was Coach Buddy. He was Coach Marcella. To me, he was Uncle Buddy. Uncle Buddy graduated from Terrebonne High School in 1943. He actually should have finished in 42, but back in those days, they let him drop a class so he could play one more year. He graduated in May of 1943 and enlisted in the service on his birthday and served 3 years in World War II as a CB in the Pacific. His older brother, my father-in-law, was already in the service and was in the European theater of war. When Uncle Buddy got back from the service, he went to SLI, which became USL, which is now UL. He was a starting quarterback and a starting first baseman on the SLI team. Well, it's hard for me not to say USL or UL because I have a daughter that graduated from USL. But in any event, he finished his college career. Let me back up just to Terrebonne just a minute. He won the Outstanding and Most Valuable Player Award his senior year at Terrebonne. Went into the service, came back, played at USL, we'll call it. And then he started his coaching career here in Houma at St. Francis. Actually started the program there. And he coached at St. Francis from, my number's a little bit off, somewhere around 1952, 51 to about 61. And in those years, in 1953, 54, 55, 56, and 57, he won the state baseball championships. He did not win it in 58 because two of the players decided to go fishing rather than go to practice, and he didn't play them in the ball game. So my point in saying that is he not only coached these people, he taught them what life was about. He coached men and treated them like they should be treated. But again, won it in 1959 and in 61. And in 59, he also won the state football championship. 1961, he went on to South Terrebonne to be the athletic director and the head coach at South Terrebonne. He didn't win any state championships there, but sent a lot of people into the pros and made it to the playoffs many a time. He coached people like Melvin Johnson, Troy Johnson, Clarence Verdant, CNN, okay? Jay Pennison, quick story about Jay Pennison. He went to Nichols, and Uncle Buddy gave him a letter and said, give this to the coaches at Nichols. And Jay couldn't help himself. He had to open the letter up. And when he did, the letter said, Coach, I forget the coach at Nichols at the time, this man will make a great center. Well, Jay Pennison wanted to be a tight end. He didn't want to be a center. So he didn't give it to the coach until maybe 2 weeks later. Jay Pennison went on to be All-Pro 5 times at center for the Houston Oilers. Okay, so Uncle Buddy had a vision about players. He knew and he treated them like they should have been treated and tried to teach them more than just athletics. He wanted to teach them how to be a man. At the same time he was coaching at South Terrebonne, the Hawk program, which was preceded all of this, actually his father was on the city council at the time and started the Hawk program, which eventually became TPR, which today we call it quality of life. Uncle Buddy was with TPR for well over 30 years, and he was the director for 20 years. So he's also a member of the Louisiana High School Hall of Fame. He was inducted in the Terrebonne General Medical Center Hall of Fame. He's done a lot. His name is on the football stadium at Vanderbilt Catholic High School, the Buddy Marcellus Stadium. So it's with my honor to tell you just a little bit about him and thank this group for honoring Coach Marcella, and his daughter Gina and son-in-law Gina Foray and Jimmy Foray are here. So thank you all very much, and congratulations to everyone else.
The next guy that we're bringing up, heard so many good things about this young man, the stuff that he has, seeds that he has sowed in the community, gone but not forgotten. And I want to bring his nephew up to go ahead and say some good things about him, because he definitely deserves it, right? So, Mr. Bernard, would you bring up your uncle?
Since you get that mic down for me.
No problem, I got the mic.
Good evening, y'all. I'm standing up here a little nervous, but y'all just bear with me. J.C. Stoves. Some of my fondest memories of J.C. is playing football for the Dularge Bobcats. And thing about JC always made me feel like I was 8 feet tall, even though I was the smallest person in every sport I played. He wasn't a big man himself, but that's my family, that's my blood, so through him, I felt like a giant. Other than football, you know, I played basketball, and the 1 year I was able to play for JC, I was 1 year too young. Playing with 11 and 12s, and I was actually 10. And like I said, he always made me feel like I belong. JC had a real good heart. For my community, in the Crozier area specifically, JC would ride a little pickup truck, and for practice, you would see 20, 30 kids in the back of the truck. Like, you know, how could that happen? And sometimes he would turn around, drop some off, go back and pick some more up. And I just want to say to my short family here, Stoves, JC was a big part of my life and why I continue to coach. And I've been coaching for the last 30 years. Those hunting trips on the weekends with his brothers, Poncho, June, and even late Duty, man, that was some real good memories with JC. He taught me a lot. A lot of times coming up to the front of the street, which he would call my grandfather, Uncle Lewis, everybody called JC Gramps. If you knew JC, call him Grants. And more than just a mentor, as a man, JC didn't have kids. JC had all of us as his kids. So JC went through probably 6, 7 generations of kids. And me seeing my short stint in coaching, I think a lot of times, sometimes we had less and we did more. Now we have more and sometimes we do less. And I appreciate you guys giving the flowers to everybody who deserves it. Some are not here, some are still here, but it's a big thing. You guys are from my era, so I know how much it means to the guys who was here before us to give them their flowers, So in my little short stint, I wanna also welcome, if it's okay, Cousin Danky to speak a little bit on behalf of the family. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of my uncle, James Stoltz, everyone know him formerly as JC. He wasn't just Coach JC, he was my uncle. He was the neighborhood dad. As Peanut said earlier, he gave his all. Football was his everything. Terrebonne Parish was his everything. If it wasn't for sports, the parish, he devoted himself to it all. And he definitely devoted himself to us, his family. A gentle giant, as Peanut, initially stated, we all lived through him. Very humble man, giving, loving, caring, and definitely kind. Yes, he made sure we got to practice, and I was the first girl to play for him with all the boys. So I come up in sports, I still got a little 1-2, but Gramps gave it to us all, and he made sure that we learned from what he taught us. And he followed every kid that he coached TPR through junior high school, and through their college years. And he made sure that he turned out products. Do large community, we suffered a loss, but we still have something great to look after. He leaves behind a legacy, and we are forever grateful of the acknowledgement that this committee has given to my uncle tonight. Thank you.
Next up, we got Mr. Shane Horner.
All right. Next, we're going to bring up from the first annual inductee Hall of Fame is Barry Melanson to introduce James Lander.
Thank you, Shane. Shane said last time he wanted me to, I was entertaining y'all and telling jokes. I'm not going to do that because this isn't my deal. But what I do want to say is, Rennie, Shane, all you guys, I want to thank y'all for what y'all doing here and recognize all these guys because as all of us know, coaching, you do a lot of work and little pay. No pay. And but we do it for the kids and we keep them off the street. And as I see some of these young guys around here that coaching now, just like the last guy talked, growing real strong young men. And that's what we need to do, and girls too. So James Landry, I've been knowing James. He's from Schriever. I'm from Bayou. We started at Evergreen. That's where I first met him. Graduated from Terrebonne in '72. We just had a class reunion last week, a supper really. And I was checking out, I said, how am I going to introduce this guy? I've been knowing him all his life. I know his boys, it's James, John, and Josh. James's oldest son was an outstanding player at H.L. Bourgeois. I'm sure a lot of you guys remember him. Center, took a lot of space up in there and got a lot of rebounds. That was from coaching from his daddy. So what I did, I was sitting there, so what is a coach? And it says, teach fundamentals, check. He promotes teamwork, check. Good sportsmanship, get along with the referees, shake hands with the other team, win or lose, check, check. Be very positive, check. I said, that sounds like somebody I know, James Landry. Now, when we went to school, we wasn't always like that. But the guy loved basketball, and y'all mostly know him probably from, he was the general manager at Barker. You see this commercial, says better at Barker. But now he says it's better at Shriever. There. And every time I go by the dealership, his friend Dwayne Shassaw and him, we talk basketball all the time. Pelicans, college, high school, whatever. We just love talking basketball. So this guy loves these kids. He loves to coach. I remember him in Shreveport, Doug Ponsall, I believe, was coaching with him. And he's no longer with us. And what a good guy. That guy I actually had the privilege of coaching with him myself. So James is one of these guys, like most of you guys are, that put your heart and soul in everything. You started coaching because you're kids. Then you got to realizing you met all these other kids and you kind of liked it and you got hooked on it. So James is one of these guys, if you left your kid with him, you didn't have nothing to worry about. He was going to teach him the right way. And I just want to introduce my friend, Mr. James Landry.
Well, I got my $5 worth out of that introduction, so thank you, Barry. Thank you, Big Slam, Randy Davis, Shane Horner. I'm sitting at home on a Sunday. I get a phone call. I don't see a recognizable name, so I don't normally answer the phone, right? But something said, you better answer the phone. So I did. And they on the other end of the phone telling me, hey, you're probably going into the Coaches Hall of Fame. I'm like, who is this? Y'all playing tricks and games on me, you know? But it's an honor. I did get into coaching because of my boys, and I wanted to grow a relationship with them over a long period of time. But there's a few people that I'd like to give recognition to. I'm not sure if anybody's going to recognize the name, but they played a very influential process into getting me to do that. And Harry Wren was the first coach I had. He coached baseball. And he was an outstanding guy. He was hard to play for. He demanded certain things. But you know, by the time baseball season was over with, you became a better person. And those type of things just kind of stayed with me. So even though I started with my boys, the more people that I became involved with, and I saw their growth. I saw kids change and become somewhat grown men. It just does something to your spirit. You know, God was challenging me every year to try to do something bigger and better. So that's how all of that happened. And to be quite honest, those years were the absolute best years of my life because I got to meet a lot of outstanding people from different communities. We traveled the whole Southeast, Southwest. I met parents that supported us Because anybody who's going to stand up here from day one till today, this is way bigger than that person. We stand on a lot of people's shoulders, the wives that put up with this travel schedule and the long hours, those type of things, the parents that used to take the kids to practice and take them to all the travel basketball that we play. That's a price. And people had to sacrifice to do that. So you might become something, but you're standing on a lot of people's shoulders. And I'm very appreciative. I have some players in here tonight. You don't have to run suicides. I have some of the parents of those players that are here tonight, and that's special because they came, they know I invested myself into their kids. And I really, really appreciate that. So unless you're giving me 30 more minutes, I'm done.
I had a pleasure of playing for him. Very, very passionate guy, but everything he said up here was absolute truth. We was all about wins and losses, and he was teaching us the game of life. So thank you for your service in the community. To see you here, to accept this award, just want to say thank you for what you've done for me and my family. So thank you, Mr. James.
This segment was brought to you by Barker Honda. It's better at Barker.
This next guy, well, I ain't gonna even go ahead, and I ain't got a lot of stories about him, but I know he's a great guy. I've met him on many occasions, but I'll let this other guy talk to him about him. Mr. Ernest Brown, we bring out Mr. Mackey.
I'm introducing Mr. Mackey Williams. I got some stories about him. I don't know if he wants me to tell him. I was the coach at South Terrebonne at the time, and Mr. Mackey Williams was about 6'3", 6'4", looked like a great prospect to come out and play. South Terrebonne at that time was a winning program, but I couldn't get him to come out. I tried everything I could. I got little girls to talk about him, to call him names, to say he couldn't do this and couldn't do that. So the young man never played for me, but he became a loyal and dedicated and great coach through the recreation department, winning lots of championships, national championships. He coached a lot of AAU basketball. He coached a lot of TPR basketball. He is an outstanding young man representing the Mechanicville community. I'm introducing to you Mr. Mackey Williams.
Good evening. He tried to recruit me because he wanted a winning program. That's me, all right? At that time, I was a little young Thundercat, couldn't tell me much, wouldn't take orders, no direction, and that's why I wouldn't play. Because Coach Brown would get in your face. At that time, I wasn't mature enough, I wasn't man enough to understand what he was trying to do. But I learned over the years, all right? And I coached the Mechanicsville community, and I know a lot of young fellas that's like me, that's like me. So I enjoy coaching. I enjoy being in battles. I understand what Coach was saying. I love taking my girls, basketball and boys, and what we work on all week, we accomplish it on Saturday, on the weekend, when we go out of town, or when we battle here for football. You know, it took some growing up, and it really did. When I first started coaching, which was 37 years ago, I was 20, and in the distance, I was coaching my little brother. I'll never forget it. I was coaching my little brother, and my dad used to sit off the park, down the road a little bit, just enough so you could see practice, drank his beer on the tailgate of his car, on the tailgate of his truck, and he would have the time of his life. And one year when the season ended, we come back that following year, the coaches was like, man, where's that old man that was sitting on the back of that brown truck? He had passed. But throughout it all, me and my brothers and them, we knew what he loved. And I love doing that. I love seeing that light in those kids' eyes when we win a game or we playing for a championship and we do what we came to do. We worked hard all season long to get that championship, to understand, having young boys showing them literally how to shake hands, look a man in his eyes, all right? Stand tall. My dad used to always say, when there's a problem, you stand up and step forward. We don't sit down and we don't back up. And that's what we try to teach our boys and our girls, because we done been into some battles. One time we was in Texas and we went to eat. I was coaching girls. We went to eat. We got a phone call from the director. The team from Arkansas would like to play y'all. They've been watching us all weekend. We were watching them too. They was undefeated, won state and everything. They would like to play y'all. Would you move the schedule around? Would y'all play them? We said yes. I asked my girls, I asked the parents, everybody said yeah. We matched up, went into double overtime. We beat those people. And we beat those people, we had the best time. Those people took us out to eat, the whole team. And we became good friends with the coaching staff, the players and everything. And it was all about, just coming together, working hard, because they did max us out, but that was their first loss all season. When I say things like that, you don't forget games like that. You don't forget stuff that you put that hard work into and it paid off. So at the end of this, I would just like to say, I appreciate everything that y'all doing, 100% behind bringing the community together. And don't stop doing what you're doing, because it's a beautiful thing. Okay, for the fellas that's here, for the people that's not here, and for the people that's coming forward. All right. So thank y'all very much for acknowledging that moment.
I remember calling my mom's and asking my mom's, can I call coach? Because I didn't ever ride to the game. And she was like, sure, you can call coach. Back in the days, though, it didn't have cell phones. So either had to call coach at their house, or I had to call coach and catch him at the gym. When I called East Houma Gym, I was like, hey, can y'all get in touch with Mr. Mike Gotro? I said, because I need to talk to Mr. Mike. And he was like, yeah. So got on the phone, Mr. Mike. I said, Mr. Mike, man, I need a ride. We don't have a ride to the game. She was like, all right, where you live at? And I said, I live on Ackman Street. And he said, where that's at? I said, that's in Mechanicsville. And I remember my mama telling me, when I told him that, to always tell him, no, coming out on Senator Street. Because back in the days, Mechanicsville was kind of bad for somebody, a white person to come in Mechanicsville. So she was like, tell him to go down Senator Street, go down West Main. So I told him that. So I remember standing in the front of the trailer, and I had my brother standing by the door, and I said, when I see him out the curtain, I need you to yell. And so when I saw him out the curtain, I told him to yell, which I wanted him to yell out the door, but he just started yelling as loud as he could inside the house. He just yelling loud, 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 loud. So like, no, hold on. Hold on. So I run to the front, we run out the door, and we got in the car and we go to the game. And he was like, whenever you need a ride, just call me and I'll come get you guys to come to the game. And from that point on, I think Mr. Mike coached us for maybe 3 or 4 years. He basically became family to me through coaching me with the Jazz. And we skipped, him and his son and I, Jason, we played on the Jazz team also. And we skipped middle school, but then we got together at high school, and then we played high school again. We played high school ball 4 years. And Mr. Mike was always there in the gym. And I remember, he might not know, but I remember him coaching us from the bleachers, telling us what to do and what not to do or whatever like that. And like I said, we became family through basketball, and I just wanted to tell Mr. Mike, I appreciate it, Mr. Mike.
Well, I'm not much of a talker, so I want to thank Wilford for nominating me. It's a great pleasure and honor. And like a lot of hard work was done here for this award. And we had good years. We won the city champs twice. And then we went to Tennessee and Florida to play in the national. We went 5 times to play the national tournament. And that's all I have to say. Thank y'all.
This next guy is really don't need an introduction. He's gonna bring up another pioneer in the community. But again, enough said. Mr. Greg Harden, you're gonna bring up Carly.
Good afternoon. Before I start, I'll be remiss without thanking this committee for putting on such a distinguished program. It is indeed an honor to be here to celebrate with these coaches, these legends, these mentors in our community. But I'm here to talk about particularly my brother, Carl. Carl went to Terrebonne High, graduated, went to Grambling, and then went off into the service of the Navy. Came back and worked with the fire department, retired there as a captain 20 years, went down to Gibson and was the fire chief down there for a few years. Then he went to the transportation department, and he was there, I think, for about 10 years. He retired there also too. To tell you, I had a prop, but I think I'll be giving him this service to read off of this here. I need to speak from the heart to explain to you the type of guy that he is. He is part of the reason why I have been successful. I remember when I was a little boy, I was 7, 8 years old. He used to get in the backyard and play football with me on his knees. That encouraged me. Carl, I'm not here to tell you about wins or losses, because he was about mentoring kids. He was trying about making a difference in kids' lives. He was all about helping kids. I'll tell you one story. He was calling a basketball game for TPR, and he saw a kid out there that had busted tennis shoes. This is a true story. If not, lightning strike me now. If you don't believe me, you can leave. But it's a true story. He took money out his pocket and took the money to the coach and told her to go buy the kid a pair of tennis shoes. Don't let him know who they came from. That's the type of guy he was. He rode kids around in his truck back and forth to practice. The reason why he got back into baseball was because he saw that the inner city kids had lost interest in playing baseball. So he came back and started the Dumas Tigers. Matter of fact, for a couple of years, we played at Dumas Ballpark. Those kids wasn't being taught about winning or losing. They was being taught about life. He taught about team concept. He taught about conflict resolution. He taught about all those things, about trying to get along and make this a better place and a better world to live in. It wasn't just about baseball. He incorporated baseball with life, situations with life, challenges that you face in baseball, the same challenges that you face in life. So I can honestly say that he was not the most best liked coach, but he was the most respected coach. And that means a big difference. I don't want you to like me. I would prefer you to respect me more than like. That let me know that he was doing what he was supposed to be doing. But to sum it all up, I am going to read this, and I think this is something that he believed in, really something he believed in. He believed in education. Told my daughter, I remember this yesterday, she was playing at Tulane. She was an All-American, All-State at Vanderbilt. Wasn't playing a lot there. But he told her, don't worry about playing time. Get your education. That's what we strive for. That's what these guys talk about. It's not about winning. 10 years ago, nobody don't care how many games you won. It's about what you're doing now and doing in the future and making a difference in kids' lives. So this is to sum it all up, this is something that I think that what he taught and what he stand by. And it's something real quick, it's not long. Your habits share your future more than your goals. Basically, what you do in life means more than your goals. So at this particular time, I would like to introduce my older, smaller brother. You come up and say a couple words. Carl Harding.
Yeah, just to follow his last statement. Before that, I paid Ernie Brown $2 and Greg $3 to add on 5 more minutes to what I have to say. But Greg can tell you that some people can say because of our upbringing, he was the athlete, but I was more athletic. But to get straight to the point, if you look at Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government Rule Book as it reads now, that we that are here want to produce citizens. In the world that we live in today, with all the turmoil, it's all about winning and losing. And to a certain extent, even now, the way society is, it's about winning and losing. Mackie, I saw you came on the team. I'm up here for baseball. Everybody else is up here for football and basketball. It wasn't a popular sport. And that's why I wanted to bring it back into the inner city, because the inner city was actually the ones that were sitting on the end of the bench at Hawk. The inner city was the ones that didn't get the love from the coaches at the time. The inner city was the parents that come to me and say, well, I go out there and my kid don't play. It was a difficult transition from coaching men. I coached men before I coached kids. It was a difficult transition because the men, we were playing on the circuit, played all over the world. We were playing on the circuit, we were playing for money. Therefore, the competitiveness was at a high level. I was a very hard disciplinarian. My brother says over here, he'll let you know, I'll put him on the bench. You don't follow these rules, we sit down. It's not about winning and losing. It's about doing what you have to do to actually play together as a team and have good results. When you lose, actually, as long as you put forth your best effort, then you have nothing to be sad about. So I'm gonna get your $2 out of the way, Bernie Brown. At the end of the day, this is what it is. And it's about everyone to understand. The world that we live in today should be much better than what it is. And we can sit down, we can talk about winning and losing and winning and losing. And my brother said, 5 years from now, you might not even remember your record. But I have kids that come to me and say, well, look, hey, Coach Carly. Hey, Coach Carly. I'm gonna close with this one. I was on the third base line at Dumas. It's a place where a lot of other people wouldn't want to go because it's in the hood. I was asked one question one time, I said, well, when do you schedule the practice over on Williams? I said, well, I just schedule a practice. So where you practice at? That's practice on Dumas. Nobody wants to come to Dumas. It's almost like Senator Circle, you know? You don't want to come there. You don't want to build there. You don't want to come there. You don't want to put efforts there. And these kids that needed the help, needed the love, some of the kids didn't have their father there and had to give them rides. I sold an old car to buy an old truck so I could bring the kids to the games. And a lot of time it hurt because it wasn't a popular sport in our community. But the kids wanted the love from someone to put forth the effort to show them some love. A kid, when he's playing on the team, he's at the end of the bench. He wants to be like everybody else. But some of these coaches we have today, they're all about winning and losing. I watched on social media where they're fighting about my kid not playing, and we paid our money, we traveled all over here. We have to get back to coaching kids where they can be citizens, great citizens, competitive, but accepting wins and losses. So as I close, may God forever bless you and yours. It's always my prayer.
This segment was brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your partner is good health.
Like I always start off and say I was a basketball guy, and I'm bringing up a football coach, so ain't too many football stories, but Mr. Floyd was active in the community I grew up in, so seeing his leadership, seeing him deal with kids, seeing him take responsibility for kids that wasn't his own, that needed that guidance, like Mr. Carley said, it was like a firsthand experience. So he was always a man that I had the utmost respect for. In my day, he was the coach of that Dumas, and they always had a good team, so I knew he was a hard-nosed coach. But I'll bring up Mr. Brown again, if you don't mind. That could have a few better words to say about Coach Floyd, to speak on his behalf.
Sam, I get an opportunity to introduce Mr. Floyd Netter. I was fortunate enough when I was 9, 10, and 11, prior to integration, we had baseball leagues at Dumas, Smith Lane, Mechanicville, and different areas. Mr. Floyd Netter and I are probably 6, 7 years apart. So if I was 9, he was 16, 17, 18 years old. And he would pick up the players and take them to the game, because, you know, most parents could not do that. Mr. Netter had a bus, and I don't know where he got a bus from, but he had a bus that he would pick up all of the kids. I think he told me he was the bus driver of a band, a local band in town. So we would pull up. We had the best looking uniforms. I'm gonna brag a little bit. We had the best looking uniforms. We played anybody who wanted to play between 9 and 11 years old. We played Smith Lane, Mechanicville. We even went to Raceland. We went wherever Floyd would put the gas in the bus, we would go. That's when I knew him. I also had an opportunity. He was impactful in my life. I was a young teenager looking for a job, and the young man used to cut grass. And he would get the yards, and I would cut the grass. He would make $15 or $20. I would make $2. I think he owes me a lot of money right now. So hopefully I have an opportunity to collect some of that from him. But after baseball and stuff, Mr. Floyd decided to coach football. He coached football in Mechanicville for a few years, and then he ended up coaching at Dumas. Looking at the program, Mr. Floyd coached 45 years, giving his time away, because you know you don't get paid for this stuff. You do this for free. So Mr. Floyd is to be commended for 45 years of time and effort for his job. Thank you.
Mr. Floyd has some prior engagements. He's not here, but his daughter is here to accept his award on his behalf.
A lot of you guys know him as Dwayne. I know him as Big Daddy. And the reason why I knew him as Big Daddy because he kept me out of a lot of trouble. If anybody knew where 7216 Main Street is, it's a big house, big white house on Main Street. And every time Big Daddy used to come in the yard, he used to save me from some whippers. Because my mom liked to whoop, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, Big Daddy was a big guy. So when my mama laid there, anything she gets in her hands, she got a habit of she want to hit me with it. So when Big Daddy come around, I see Big Daddy come to the yard, I know I'm about to get a whooping, I run straight to him. And I hide behind him. And the first thing he do, he brush my mom off and tell her, leave the boy alone. I'm gonna take care of him. And he bring me to the side and he talk about, you know, what I was doing or had not. But with that being said, a humble man, a God-fearing man. He's all of that and above, you know. Every time, he was like a father figure to me, you know. And he kept me straight as I become a grown man. So with that being said, Dwayne Lyons, come up and receive your award.
Say so. First, giving honor to God, who's the head of my life, and to this group who put this thing together, honoring these coaches. This is a great thing, and I commend y'all for what y'all doing. And I want to say thank you for that. And I started coaching football back when my son turned 9, and when I arrived at Mechanicville, Mr. Ryan Williams, Mackey, was the coach there, him and Ronald Howard. They brought me in. And at that time, you know, our kids, Mechanicville Senator Circle was, you know, we just struggled for everything. So when I got involved, I worked offshore, you know, doing pretty good. And we started this group with Mackey and Ronald Howard We say, look, hey, man, I pulled them together. We started a group. We had plenty of parents, but the parents wouldn't bring the kids to practice or to the games in Dularge, games in Montague. We got to figure out a way to do something. So with Housing Authority, Ms. Alma Baker, and we formed this group, Mechanicsville Senator Circle Booster Club. Got together and, I graduated from college in accounting and I said, look, we're gonna start this group, got a 501c3. We raise money, we get donations. We was able to get the school buses. School buses was fairly cheap, wasn't cheap if you didn't have money, but we was able to get the school bus to bring our kids to the game. Our kids show up to the game. The games we had, a whole lot of kids that wanted to play, couldn't pay registration fees. A whole lot of kids that wanted to play, couldn't get transportation to the game. So, we had to be creative and try to get this thing, like everybody else was saying, trucks. We didn't have enough trucks to bring kids to the game. We had hundreds of kids that played. And Mackey, the great organizer, Mackey, we got together, we started this thing, raised money, and we did all of this stuff. Our kids, the uniforms, the practice jerseys that you got when you sign up for TPR is what our kids was wearing to the game. Everybody else had uniforms. So we got together. We had to do what we can to get uniforms for our kids. We bought uniforms, and year after year, we just did what we can. Becoming a 501c3, we was able to get donations to help pay for this stuff, to help right now, today, even now, with Mackie still involved, and I'm still a treasurer trying to keep this thing going. We able to get uniforms for baseball, for basketball, for football especially, and for our kids to feel good about themselves. What you do for Christ, and that's what we was doing for these kids. It's not about us. We was doing this, like everybody said, nobody get paid, but you was giving more than what you was getting, and that is giving to those kids. And I'd like to commend y'all for honoring us. And what we did, we hope the kids that was involved, and right now today, I see a lot of kids, I go to Walmart, can't remember half of the kids because they're grown now. I remember when they were small, but what they look like now, man, I can't remember their names. But I tell you what, they all look at us and praise us for what we did. So we tried our best to help them. And we thank y'all for doing this, and we'd like to thank everything for that's going on. We give it all to God. We thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wayne. I'll tell you one thing about Mr. Wayne and Mr. Matt. They're not lying. Their jerseys was just T-shirts. I remember my uncle, who he spoke about, Ronald Howard, wanted me to come play running back for him over there. He said, hey, why don't you come play for Mechanicsville? I said, man, no indeed. Y'all ain't got no good jerseys over there. I'm on Oakshire. I said, I'm going with Coach Nelson over there, man. They got some good jerseys. Y'all ain't even got no air helmets or nothing like that over there, right? So I guess I was a little bougie back there, right? But he used to always tell me, Ronald, back in them guys, they'd be like, man, what you come over here and play? Man, y'all got T-shirts over there. I ain't got no jerseys over there. I'm about to rip my T-shirt off. Somebody, So, but thank you guys for what y'all have done, man. So last but not least, Mr. Wilford.
I remember calling Coach Mike the first week, and I called Coach Mike for 2 days, and I was like, well, I called Coach Mike last week. I can't call Coach Mike again this week, so let me call my other coach. So I called my other coach. I was like, Coach, can you come get me? And I arrived for the game. He was like, sure, I'll come get you. So back in the days, we played basketball games on Tuesday and Thursday. I remember he came Tuesday, and then he came back Thursday. When he came back Thursday, he says to me, "Do you have a schedule?" I'm like, "Yes, I have a schedule." He was like, "All right, don't call me anymore. 30 minutes before game time, I'll be over here to pick you up." I was like, "Okay, cool." For basketball, he convinced me to play baseball. So there's basketball practice, basketball games, basketball all-star, basketball games, basketball practice, baseball all-star. He picked me up. I never needed another ride again for the next maybe 3 to 4 years. And I just wanted to tell him, thank you for coming get me, going out your way to come get me to go to the basketball games. And since then, we have become family now. He's more than just a coach to me. He's really family to me. And when I started coaching, I wanted to be just like him. What I mean is, just like you guys, all of you guys, is the blueprint. Y'all the blueprint for what, when I started coaching, I want to be just like those. I want to pick up a kid. I want to give a kid this. If a kid needs a uniform, I want to pay for a uniform. I wanted to be the blueprint. He set the blueprint, you guys set the blueprint. So I wanted to be just like him. So I remember when I started coaching and I got into this AAU coaching thing, I remember we was coming from an AAU game once, and the guy was hungry. The guy in the car was hungry, and I was like, all right, cool, I had no problem with that. And I remember all the time we was in New Orleans, and I wanted to go to the Shake Shack. I was like, I asked him, did he ever go to the Shake Shack? He was like, no. I was like, well, let's go to the Shake Shack. Oh, FYI, if you never been to the Shake Shack, they more expensive than Five Guys. Just for FYI. So he went to the Shake Shack. So that was he said, Coach, that was my first time going to the Shake Shack. I said, that was my first time also going to the Shake Shack. So I just wanted to let Coach know some things, some first time things that he might not remember that I knew when he was picking me up. Frog legs. First time I had frog legs, it was with Coach. A place called Chester's. I remember the place called Chester's. He's like, let me get you some frog legs. I was like, all right, cool, Coach. He was like, it tastes like chicken. I was like, I don't know, Coach. I went on and tried it out though. The frog leg was pretty cool. First time I went fishing on the boat, it was with Coach. He convinced me to go on that boat. I didn't want to go on that boat with all of that water, but I went on that boat anyway. The very first time, I beat the whole family in a game of Monopoly. Got my little two Baltic, got my little light blue properties, beat the whole family in the game of Monopoly. First and last time I've been trawling, which trawling to me was real calm. It was real calm. If somebody asked me to go again, if I had the time, I'd go again, because it was just peaceful. It was like, you with the water out there. And when we came back from trawling, Coach gave my mom's ice chest full of shrimp. At the time, I didn't know how much shrimp was. Fast forward 25 years, I'm doing the AAU fundraiser for my son, and they told me to go get the shrimp. And when I had to go find out the price of shrimp, I'm like, gee whiz. Coach gave me an ice chest full of shrimp, and I'm gonna say, Coach, thank you. I mean, I can't pay you back. I can't pay you back for everything you did, but I just appreciate everything you did. And I saw him at West Main Pizza one day on Facebook, and he said that's his favorite spot to go to West Main Pizza. And I swung over there, and when I got in there, he was shocked, and he was like, he was telling the waiter, he was like, get him a Coke. And I was like, nah, I don't want a Coke. He was like, well, get him a plate, get him a slice of pizza. I was like, nah, I don't want a slice of pizza. So the waiter said, what you want? I said, I want the check. Let me get the check. I can't pay you back. There's no way we can pay any one of you guys back. It's just humanly impossible right now. We can't pay you back with that one time. I just want to get that one time. And I can tell y'all what he said, but I ain't gonna tell y'all what he said. It was just that one time I wanted to just show him I appreciate him, just like we appreciate all of you guys. We really do. And I try to pay that back with the kids by coaching the kids and paying it forward to those guys for what you guys did for us. I want to say thank all you guys. Mr. Chris West.
My buddy Mike Woodrow took my speech. I'm not a talker. I'm not a talker. But I remember when I said, we went to school together. I said, no, he went to St. Joe. Always on telephone. But this kid here is Wild Coast. Thank you.
Hold on. All right, Mr. Sweats, thank you, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate you. I want me to ice just shrimp too, man. I was joking with him earlier about, he said he do a lot of charter fishing. I asked for some cordons. I just bought a boat myself. I said, hey, man, I need some good spots. He said, I got you, but it's going to cost you. I said, I thought you was coaching for free. You know, I'm just saying, just throwing it out there, right? But coaches, just want to take a moment right now. Well, it's not about you guys, right? It's about the ones who you left behind to go ahead and service our community. The family members, the wives, the kids, the ones who wanted just as much time as the ones you was giving out there. Luckily, like Mr. James said, he had a chance to grow up with his kids, coaching them through that, right? But you guys don't understand, like far as coaching wise, is how the sacrifices the people at home, they have to deal with, right? You always gone. You always pouring into somebody else. And they don't get jealous. Sometimes they might speak on it, but they don't. Because when they see the results that you guys have always driven, right? And they stand behind you guys. And that shows you guys and says a whole lot about your demeanor, your character, and who you are as a person. So we can't thank you guys enough for what you guys have done for us. This community can't thank you guys enough for what the service that you guys have given. So we try to put on a little appreciation just to say thank you. Thank you, thank you. And last but not least, like I say, we can talk to it blue in the face and tell you how much we thank you and how much we appreciate you, but we got to go ahead and show it. We always say that actions speak louder than words. So with that being said, we want to give you guys our roses today. Man, you gotta get it rolling, man. Even though he ain't had no good service, as you guys can see, the warmth and the happiness that you guys have always brought to these guys, to these people that coach, or the players that you guys have touched, right? Again, I said 1,000 times, you know, we'll never be able to thank you for the mark that you guys have put on us. A lot of us are here today because of your growth, because of your love, your care, right? The compassion that you have for us. Like I say, you guys didn't just coach wins and losses. You guys coach, you know, the game of life. And I can't thank you guys enough. None of these guys can. Again, we try to just show you guys our appreciation. Man, coaches, salute. We love each and every last one of you guys. And continue being the ambassadors you guys are. Thank you, HTV, for always coming up, you know, and doing a great job. But we're going to go ahead and close tonight. But again, I don't want to leave without telling you guys one more time. Thank you for your service in this community. We love you and we do appreciate you.
This segment was brought to you by Rouse's Markets. Feels like home.